Okay. All right. Is everybody? Oops. All right. Not quite, but it will work for these purposes. All right. Is everybody seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yes.
Thank you so much. So this is, you're looking at Miss Patrice Johnson, and she's the CEO of a company called Inspired by Jaden. She's a passionate entrepreneur, proud single mom of her son Jaden, and a creative visionary. The As the CEO of Inspired by Jaden, she combines her love for social interaction, event management, and Jamaican culture to create engaging experiences. She has a degree in computer engineering and an MBA. Her career spans a 30-year journey. I know she looks like she was born yesterday. In the ICT industry, that's computers there, with specialization in developing business solutions and project management. She's also a project management professional, a PMP. Her achievements, her game is called GuessWah, Jamaican lingo. We don't have anybody outside of Jamaica. Anyhow, it's GuessWah, a board game with her trademark, and it celebrates Jamaica's diverse lifestyle and folklore. She's also the sports and social club president for Digicel. She did 2 tenures of that. She's a Biggie grant winner in 2022. In this year, 2025, as a participant in the Jamaica Manufacturers Exporters Association Expo. She won a special award there. She's the JEMS winner. She's a board member of the Jamaica Autistic Support Association. She's a member of the Special Olympic Board. She's a member of the Jamaica Manufacturers Export Association. And she's also a member of the Jamaica Business Development Corporation. Patrice's passion lies in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a positive impact. Whether through games or community service, she continues to inspire and uplift others. Friends, I present to you Miss Patrice Johnson.
Hello. Good morning, all. In Jamaica, we say Wagwan. So if you get nothing else from this presentation, you guys are going to learn how to speak Jamaican in several dialects. So when I say Wagwan, just say me good. So, ladies, Wagwan.
Me good.
Me good.
All right. Okay. So Wagwan is how are you? Just so I have to give a translation. So, as you would have heard, I'm a single mom, proud single mom. And my journey with GuessWah and how it came to be, it literally is like a box of chocolate. Because you know the expression, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get into it. So before I delve into my presentation, I'm just going to do an activity with the game itself so you have an understanding of what it is. So I made sure to select cards that persons who are not Jamaicans can still participate in it because there are words that are Jamaican bound and English bound. So GuessWah is a combination of, are you familiar with the game Taboo?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, you're gonna learn something today. So Taboo is one of the most popular board games for Hasbro in the Western set, well, at the world at large. The first popular one is Monopoly. Second one is Taboo. So it's my love for Taboo and my love for charades that I combine both elements and put a Jamaican spin on it. And as I go in, you get to see what the pieces are like in the game. So I'm going to split my team in 2 today. Let me see now. So Camille and Beverly is gonna be on one team, and Melody and
Adela.
Adela,
Yes.
right? And who else? I'm looking at the participants.
Viv and
So
Patrice.
Viv, because I have to put Viv with a Jamaican. So Viv has to go with Melody. You're Jamaican? Are you Jamaican, Bev?
Of course. What was that?
You tricked me.
I'm
You tricked
pure
me, man.
Jamaican.
Okay. So will go with Viv will go with Beverly and Camille will go with Melody. How's that?
Okay.
Good.
We're missing one person.
I'm here, but it's okay.
Adele will go
Oh,
with.
sorry, I'm not seeing your
What do you
name.
want me?
I'll sit out. I'll
I'm
sit
not
out.
coming.
Nice play.
Oh, you're just there as a Zoom user.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you remind me of your name?
Adele?
Adele, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Adele will go with Melody and
And Camille.
Camille.
So Beverly,
And
Adele,
Viv.
and Vib,
Yeah,
and then
okay.
Camille
Beverly. All right.
and Melody. All right.
Okay.
All right, sounds like a plan. For today's session, I'm going to ask you to rename, put your names, type a different name on. So Beverly, put Beanie.
Beanie?
Beenie. So all the persons on Beverly's team, change your names to Benie. Beanie. I'm gonna separate into Beanie and Bounty.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then the persons like Camille and Melody, you're gonna be Bounty. All right. So I'm gonna kick off. All right. Let's put it over here. All right, first up. All right, so I'm going to, okay. So how the game is played is you basically throw a dice. I'm not going to do a throw dice. I'm just going to give you a taste of what the two elements is. So how it works is you throw a dice. It's a two-colored dice. Show it up. This is typically what it looks like. It's two colors. So the yellow represents say it, which would be the taboo version. And the green represents the charades, which means you have to act out everything that you see on the card. Now, for ease of purpose, I've selected words that you can sit at your desk and actually act out as well. Now, the way taboo works, you have to, let me just bring up a card. So for instance, and I'm sure if you're seeing these words, well, I'm going to drop it in whoever's going first, I'm going to just drop it in it. So let me just file. I'm just going to upload a file. Direct message.
Or you can do it in the chat, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to do it in the chat.
It'll be better, yeah.
Right. Select all. Control A. Oh, unable to file due to admin restrictions. Oops. All right.
What?
Yeah, it's telling me, okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna send the file to, well, I might have to send it to Camille, but it's saying that I have unable to send the file. No problem. I'll just WhatsApp it to Camille and I'll ask her to drop it in the chat for me. Yeah, you guys have some security policies on it.
I guess. Right.
I know it's because I'm Black. I'm just kidding. All right, so Camille, I'm gonna ask you to drop that in the chat so I can at least explain to them using those few words. You got it, Camille?
How do I change my name to Beanie?
Go to your picture. And there's the 3 dots on top with the like a blue 3 dots. Click on that. And then when it comes, it will no, hold on. When it comes up, you'll be able
Rename.
to rename, yeah.
Okay.
And make sure you don't keep it for future.
Maybe that'll be my new nickname. You know, we all have a nickname.
So you got that picture, Camille?
You're on mute, Camille. So we see it now. Thank you, Camille.
Right. Right. So the objective is to get, so you're on a team. It's a team of 2. And you actually have to get your opponents to say the word, your team members to say navel string. But you cannot use these words below to describe what it is that you're trying to say. No, you have to go through as many cards as possible. So this is a state version, which is the yellow side. This is the yellow card, right? So what Camille is just showing you. So how would you get persons on your team to say navel string, but you can't use all of these below in the description? So any of you, what kind of words would you be saying? What kind of clues would you begin? It says a word that you can talk out, but you can't act. So once you're talking, you can't act. So what would you do to basically get persons to say the word navel string?
What is tied to your mom before you were born?
Nice.
Beautiful. She's a sharp one.
Yeah.
She's a sharp one. Okay. So Camille, switch to the other one now.
Miss Mommy, neighborhood.
So that one is a Dewey card. You have to act it out. You have to act it out. So it's a combination of words that do the talking, and then similar with this one, you have to act it out. You can't talk. So you have to act out, do that. So I'm going to just send the other words. So you guys have a basic idea of what you need to do now, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So Camille, I'm going to send the other words over to you since you have the admin. So you're going to have to play what's called Boti. Remember first time, Boti?
Miss Mommy.
All right, let me bring this over. So that's my son in the background. Please pardon him.
No, it's okay.
Okay, children are always
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he can be a handful, boy.
He can be our future Rotarian. We'll welcome him.
All right, so take it away. So let's see how Beverly does. Let's see how Beverly does.
Wash
This one. So Camille, you're going to drop this in Beverly's individual window. She will, so here's what I'll do to make this easier, because Beverly will have that card and she'll give the rest. So we'll scrap the team thing. So I'll give every individual a chance to actually go through this card and see what it does. So Beverly, go through the card and then we'll try to guess what you're trying to say. So go ahead.
Do you want the action or the?
But this one is the talking. You have to talk it out. You have to give clues, but you cannot call the words listed below. So
Yeah. Boy.
Camille, would you click on that word, like so the actual word shows?
What's on? Wait, two.
The top one.
Jay, bye.
There.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Good. Okay. I'm lost for this. I know what it means, but
Okay, so here's the
lost
trick.
for that.
A lot of persons get focused on what it is versus breaking it up. So, how about how do you get your clothes clean? So you can say 2 words. How do you get your clothes clean?
Machine,
Wow.
soap
Or,
belly, soap
or,
machine,
or what do you do with the dishes? What do you do with dishes to get them clean?
dishwasher,
Wash. So you would say wash.
wash,
And they
yeah,
say on your body, below your breast, you
belly
know,
button,
belly. So you basically
belly.
critical thinking. It teaches you how to basically break up words. So a lot of persons are focused on the actual part because it's that sorry on the last part in terms of what it is, but they don't think about taking it a different turn to see how they can actually. I'll give you another one.
So wait, before you go on, what is wash belly anyways?
So that's in Jamaica, it's the last kid.
Yeah.
It's the very last child.
Oh, okay.
It's the last child.
Got it.
So we call it, and they said the wash belly always spoil. That's the last. All right, here's another one.
So if I was Jamaican and I knew what that word meant, I could have used or maybe final or.
Yes. So you can say, I had 3 kids, and the third one is known as in Jamaican terms.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Good to know.
So I just sent you another one, Camille. How about
Okay.
that one? How about that
All
one,
right.
ladies? What I mean, any other person can actually say what, how they would actually say this one.
Oh, you yam so much.
Starving.
Ah.
Starving.
Exactly. And okay, so let me see, Vib, how would you do this? I just sent one to Camille. Vib, I'm gonna test
Challenge
you.
it.
How would you say that one?
What I breathe through. What? Oh, I can't use the word breathe. Sorry. Yeah, wait.
So in a case like that, if you call the word that's on the card, we would do what's called, we would Dutch pot you. So this is the actual sound of a Dutch pot. So we'll buzz you and the point will go to somebody else. So
Got it.
so, okay, how else? How else could you describe it?
You can pick your friends, but you can't pick. You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your friends.
You can pick your friends
But you can't pick your friends.
for nose hole.
No, exactly.
There is a saying, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your friends.
Oh. Okay.
Oh. Pick your friends.
Infinity. Below between the eyes. Oh, you can't use eyes either. Oh, freak.
Exactly. So it takes some getting used to know how to, and it's usually very quick. You have to, it's literally on the spot. It's quick thinking.
Where your glasses rest.
Yeah. When your grass is red, just say the nose.
Right.
Right.
And when you get an eagle, you get in golf, when you get an eagle shot, you get
one in the hole. So usually it's persons who would know about golf would be able to pick that up. Right? So the what we call critical way of thinking way to do stuff, and there's no wrong or right way. You can say you sneeze through your nose.
Well,
When you're wearing somebody a digger, hole.
nose.
Right?
Nose.
So, but that's what throws people off. You're
Mhm.
focusing on the face. You're not trying to find other things around it.
yes.
Right. Okay. Camille, can we have the other one? Let me try out. Let me try out this Addy.
I'm looking to see. Okay,
So
where do I
this
see
one
the
you have
one?
to so this one you have to act out. How would you act that out?
I'm not seeing the word.
Wax.
Yeah, man.
Wax.
Pardon? What?
WAX.
It's a Jamaican word. Wax.
What? It's an English and Jamaican, you know. So
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I'm acting out.
yeah. So you
Yeah.
so
Your no hair.
dig out the ear and then you're sure what right.
Yeah. Yeah. I still can't see the word, but that's okay. I'm glad someone told me what it is. But this is how I would act it out.
Right. So you act it out. So that's her digging it out, and they'll actually show what it's coming out. Or she could pretend like she's waxing her leg. And then the final one, I think that the last one I'm dropping on Camille's page. I dropped two more and I'll give Melody a chance. Melody's Jamaican? Are you?
No, no.
Okay. But still.
Yeah, I still give it a try.
Still give it a try, Melody. Still give it a try. You're acting this, you're talking this one out. How would we, because this is a staple in
use
Jamaica.
this. Yeah, you use this to shred cheese.
Correct. And then
we all love this for our birthday dessert.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. So even Melody, who's not a Jamaican, is able to basically say it. So Jamaicans would immediately start trying to say, how are we going to try to describe greater cake, focusing on the actual food itself versus stepping out of the box. And then now our final one now. So I'm gonna give you a final acting out one. And so here's another one. Camille, how would you say this one? Or how would you say this one, Camille? This is your one now.
Nobody's blank.
We still don't know.
Um,
and I'm pretending that I'm on a team, and that. So the thing is,
Yeah,
these
I
words
know.
are when you are given the clues. You know, you are supposed to get your opponents to pick up.
Celebrated the 1st of April.
All Fool's Day.
Okay.
Right.
Repeat.
And then you repeat. So you could say, and you said 2 times. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Full
Right. So in Jamaica, when somebody say a fool, that means you're like a dunce. You know. So that's the thing. So that's the basic gist of how the cards are structured. So I'm just gonna delve in now. So now that you know what it's about, I'm just gonna delve in now with my presentation. If I may be permitted to share. You guys are seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Beginning. Okay, wonderful. So pretty much this is welcome to the presentation. As I said, once again, thank you so much for extending the opportunity to come before you guys. I know your Saturdays are pretty busy. So I'm just gonna kick off. Inspired by Jaden, this is a story about how the game came about. It's very deep, it's very personal. So it's a part of me. This is my journey, not just a game, it's a journey. So let me just go to, so the birth of GuessWah. GuessWah is a Jamaican game based off the eclectic lifestyles of the Jamaican culture. It seeks to look at just the things that make Jamaica Jamaica. It's at age 6 and uppers can participate. Age 6 up to 100. That's how I advertise it. And it's Jamaica in a box. That's how I basically term it. No, that's me when I have a nice bath. I look very clean and represent good, right? So, inspired by Jaden. So, behind the story, Jaden is my son. So, inspired by Jaden, the name came about in 2019. I had made my first prototype, and it was based off seeing how Jaden interacted with a particular app. It's called abcmouse.com. I loved whenever he would sit down and he would play, but it's like he's learning. I'm a stickler for learning, first of all, because my mom is a teacher. So learning is huge for me. So in any such regards, anything that I'm going to produce is going to have an element of learning and entertainment. So the motto of my company is learning through laughter. So that's how I was inspired in terms of coming up with making things that are for learning purpose as well as entertainment. Now, Taboo is my favorite game of all times, or was my favorite game of all times. Guess why is the favorite now?
Yours.
And I find elements of Taboo and gestures. Why? Because when I used to play Taboo, I used to always see these westernized clues, and it used to annoy me. Just like Camille talk about Mount Rushmore, and which president. I just got really upset one day. I said, no man, I need to see some Jamaican things on this page, on these set of cards. So hence the reason why I put in the thought to come up with things for Taboo, and then gestures was my second one, which is a version of charades. To combine it in one and to basically make it the Jamaican version of. So to creating the prototype, it took me about 8 months of trial and errors and iterations. Back and forth. We had to create the mold in Jamaica and then send it to China because there are certain parts of the game that are electronical that we don't have the resources here on island to create. So we had to send up our blueprints, we send up what molds we created, and after a lot of back and forth, the first prototype was produced. So I had a prototype, but I didn't have funds. So I said to myself, oh Lord, how am I going to get out of shipments? God, I put it before you, as I do with everything that I step forward in doing. So they said to be careful what you wish for. These are the components of the game. So it comes with 404 cards in total. So the same part which you just saw, which is Taboo side, that's 202. And then the green one, which is the Actino side, is 202. So it's 404 cards in total. The chicken here is an actual timer. When the time is off, when the time is up, it actually makes us on the Jamaican rooster. And then you have the Dutch pot, which is a Jamaican staple. We just like how in athletics you have the bullhorn and the vuvuzelas, the Dutch pot is what we usually have at games to represent our culture. So everywhere that you go and you see a Dutch pot in any part of the world, it's a Jamaican behind that. And of course, the two color die to decide, which one of the cards that you actually go to. So that was our first prototype. No. 2020 was one of the most devastating periods of my life. So the first thing was, it was during COVID. And that same year was when I lost my job. I was made redundant. I'm not at Digicel anymore. I spent 14 years at Digicel, so I lost my job. And the very same year, I found out my son was on the spectrum for autism. No, as you can tell, and that's every parent's nightmare, having to handle or deal with something like this. It's literally like a shocker to you. So after having grieved for 3 weeks, and yes, 3 weeks, I remember in the first 2 weeks, I lost 2 pounds, and that's just from the crying. I said, you know what? Just pick up your pieces and let's just get this child to where he needs to be. And when I got the redundancy package, I said, I'm going to use a portion of this to put towards making the shipment that I've always wanted to. Because at the end of the day, I want to prepare myself so that if I get fired or get redundant from another job, Mark, I've never been fired, knock on wood. You know, I'll always have that business for myself to rally back on. So after much thought, we put that in, and with the help of my brother and the redundancy package, I was able to do my first shipment. We did a soft launch on TVJ in 2020, and it was phenomenal. The response from the public in general, because they're seeing something that is Jamaican, you know, the affiliation, and we played the game on TV as well. Now, the soft launch was very interesting because even at the time when we launched, we had no goods in Jamaica. Our stock was, you know, locked up at the ports because during COVID, there was a lot of backup of shipments. So that's another stone that got hurled at us that we had to try and pivot around. And that's the thing. The more stones that kept coming, the more things where you had to basically find a workaround. You have to learn how to pivot because life, as I said, you never get what you expect. You have to learn to basically prepare for the unexpected. Now, there were challenges. The first month we launched was in Christmas, which was the greatest sale day of all holidays. Unfortunately, it's not an indication of what will happen the months ahead because January is broke month, you know. For Vim, that's when you're broke because you do all these spendings in December. So it's back to reality. So the sales that I got in December were clearly not reflected in January or February or March. So the challenge was how to basically keep abreast or keep the momentum going in the periods that are not holiday, you know, rezoning. And you have to understand, my game is like a niche. It's not a consumable where you have to have it. It's not like face products. It's not like food. It's stuff that you literally, it's not need. It's not a dire need. To be honest, during COVID, this did exceptionally well because people couldn't come out of their homes. So that was part of the reason why it did so good during that period because we had things like we couldn't leave our homes during certain times. So it was a substitute for entertainment as well. In 2022, I applied for and took part in a competition for a grant, and we won. Praise God, you know, thanks to the help of the Almighty, we put in the work and we did a lot of presentations. And the Development Bank of Jamaica issued us a grant, $7 million. Praise be to God. And this was to go towards doing our second batch that we actually came about and doing. So a lot of companies had literally seen the effect and the impact that this game had made on the lives of Jamaicans because they wanted to have something that was inspiring the culture because the culture is dying, you know. So you have to come up with ways, especially in the new Gen Zs and the new, you know, you have to get something that they can relate to. Initially, the target market was persons between, you know, the age of 18 to, you know, 60s or 70s, but we had to come up with using kings and cards that would appeal to persons on the lower end. So I would go into schools. I would go into church groups. I would go into workplaces. It has a very vast demographic. So it's all genres that this actually impacts. Now, corporate gifting. We actually had an idea where I approached companies to say, hey, I can create specialized cards for your company to package as a part of the GuessWah, and you can present it to your corporates or your staff. So digital was my first customer. I did one for Digital Foundation as well. We created 50 cards or 20 additional cards. They gave us their landmarks, they gave us their people, and they asked us to put them on the cards, put it as a part of the 404 with their branding on the box, and present it to clients at Christmas. My second client was NCB Capital Markets. They did over 100 units as well, where they put in their, stuff relating to NCB, their founders, stuff relating to the bank, and same thing, do a packaging for them and present it to their customers and their staff. We also did for weddings, anniversaries, anything that people want to customize. So the first box on your left was what we started off with. Vibrant colors, but guess what? Nobody knew what it was inside until they opened it. So we had to come up with a way to, let's not have people literally guessing what's inside the box. We had to have something whereby the box was playful, just like Monopoly and Taboo. You have a character that's featured on the box. So I chose the Jamaican rooster and the Dutch pot. And the back of this game actually tells you what it's about, and it gives you the rules and how it operates. So from a marketing standpoint, we had to wheel and come again. And most of the improvements that we made would have been from our public. We listened. The dice was also rebranded based off feedback. They wanted something that was more, so the back of the dice, the background of the dice was white. We have made it black so the colors would be more visible. The chicken rooster, we increased the sound because a lot of persons, while they're playing, they couldn't hear the rooster crowing, so we increased the sound. So a lot of adjustments based off persons. And so we take critique and we basically put it in to something better that we can do. So we have several retailers island-wide. We're also online. These are our retailers, online retailers. GuessWah, Amazon, Carib Shop. A Carib Shop has a huge following for persons in diaspora as well as persons in Trinidad. So we're in all of these stores. I've had more stores, but I've had to cut down the amount of persons because credit, a lot of persons don't like to pay when it's due. And it comes with, just having a feel out to say, who do we want to stick with? Who do we move units faster through? And that's part of why we actually scale down. So accomplishments. So since GuessWah, I've come up with what's called a refiller pack. That comes with 300 cards. Cards that we keep current. We keep current with trends. We keep abreast with what's changing. So you'll see on these cards, stuff like dance moves for the acting part. Things that were in the public, trending, Crab Circle, Alice in Hero Circle, just things and elements, Marky G, Bro God, the Prime Minister. So the cards themselves are a combination of landmarks, dance moves, things that are intrinsic to Jamaican style, just anything Jamaican you can think of. Now, we did very well at the JMEA Awards that was held in April. It basically, we got for best booth and best new product that's coming out. So we have a new product that's coming out called So We Say. It's a game based on Jamaican proverbs, Jamaican and English proverbs. So that's coming this summer. But what made the booth very interactive is that there was a card there for everybody. So when the minister came in, when the prime minister came in, they took him to my booth because there's a card with his name. They took the Governor General to my booth because there was something there about the Governor General. So we made sure when we were creating this game, there's something there that can apply to politics, to church, to entertainers, all about. So a lot of thought went into it. Now, even coming up with these cards, it took me, I remember in the nights I would be sleeping and I just think of a word and just write it down. So 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm writing down words. If I'm driving on the road, I'm writing down words. So it took a lot of time and effort to come up with all the words and then 300 more. So what's next for Inspired by Jaden? Synonymously, it says Raising Jaden. That's what's next for Inspired by Jaden. So I actually have a book that is to be published called, and it's based it's a journey, as said, it's a journey of love, long suffering, learning, and laughter. And it's all the elements that went into the birthing of the GuessWah game and what has happened with Jaden. What happened prior to his arrival here on Earth, and how this book came to be was I became a single mother a month after I had Jaden. Like life, as I said, it's still in the chocolate mode. This is something that you don't expect. This is things that life throws at you, and how do you wheel when it comes around? So I used to write because I had insomnia. As you could tell, it was a very dark moment. My first 2 years after Jaden's birth was a very dark moment. And I would constantly be just writing in the night when I couldn't sleep. And as I said, this was 8 months of insomnia. I would sleep at 2 hours at a time for 8 months. And that's literal mental torture. So after 6 years of just writing down, thankfully the insomnia left in after the 8 months. So after I had finished, I was always documenting just things and times of things I would remember up to the time before I was pregnant and after I'm pregnant. And then the game and everything. And after 6 years, I realized I had so much in terms of content. And I said, I'm going to transform this into a book. And this book speaks about the journey. It speaks about healing. It's motivational as well, because it keeps making reference to God, things that I had to fall back on, things that I had to become in trying to become a mother. So it's very deep. It's very dear to me. And I'm looking to have this done for next year, to have it published by next year. So although we started off with chocolate, I'm going to end on lemonade. I've been given lemons most of this journey. And what I'm doing with my lemons now is mixing lemonade. So I moved from chocolate, I'm in lemonade now. So when life throws you lemons, take it, make lemonade. It's gonna be a very tall, refreshing glass once you know how to pivot yourself in life. And most of what I've achieved to date, I have to credit this to family members. I have to credit, God, first and foremost. I could not do this without the strength. And if you're not a spiritual person, you're mad. You will go crazy if you don't have some being to fall upon in hard times. And regardless of what this journey brings, Jaden is an autistic child. That in itself is a challenge. It's a huge challenge, especially in Jamaica, where there are a lack of resources. But I'm always finding ways, because the Lord always provides people in my environment. You would have seen that I'm a member of JASA, Jamaican Autistic Support Association. I'm a board member because I've been given help by family. So my duty is to ensure that I try to get help for persons out there who have no support. Many persons out there are single moms as well. So we try to give them the help, whether through services or, find funding. Community service for me on that level, it's very dear, because I want to make sure that whatever blessings that I get can be sought for others as well out there. So in a nutshell, that's what my GuessWah story is about. There is more to come. And this game has basically helped me to evolve as a person, as a Christian. Life is full of unexpectancies. Just know at the end of the day, the person who did the song, It Is Well With My Soul, he did it out of something that happened that was very devastating to him. He lost his family at sea. And this song that he made touched the lives of so many million people. So in adversities, there's always triumph. And that's how I will end this presentation. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being attentive. Nobody did sleep. Thank God that you drank your tea. You could stay up. So that is my story.